Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SF Live. I'm your host, Myrna Lim. Tonight is very special, as you can see. You can see me, and you see this young gentleman right next to me. This gorgeous young man happens to be my nephew, Sid Hubbard. Starting at the age of 8 years, he has been working with computers, taking computers, breaking them up, and putting them back together again. He is the one of the versions of Steve Jobs, a better looking version of Steve Jobs. And that's why he's sitting there, because he's an artist, he's an inventor, he's a developer, and he's got all these talents. And I would like to share with you a lot of the work that he has done, and that's why he has to navigate the computer beside me. So welcome, Sid. How are you?
I'm doing great.
He
Thank
just
you
came
for
back
having
from the
me.
Philippines. He almost got married off there, but anyways, there's another story. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your background first, and then you can show
Okay.
our audience all of your work. Anyway, so you started at 8 years.
8 years old. Yeah. My dad got a computer.
Mm-hmm,
It was an
mm-hmm.
old Sinclair computer with the kind of keys. They weren't even keys. You kind of had to push the plastic in.
Yeah, yeah.
And we hooked it to the TV, and he was gonna teach me BASIC by learning it himself while
Right,
we
yeah.
were teaching it. And these days you can usually find me at the same place, like right next to the
Right.
flat panel TV with my computer hooked up to it, like
Right, right,
working
right.
on code.
Right, right. So you have done a lot of websites. You've developed a lot of softwares. You've developed softwares for businesses, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Before you decided, okay, I want to do something more artistic and more creative.
Yeah. I think like some of the best, my favorite work that I did in my earlier career was with a company called Splendora, which is a San Francisco. It's one of the first fashion and gossip blog website
Oh, really?
things. It was just fabulous. It's still there right now. It's awesome. Those girls keep going. I built content management systems for them and Salesforce automation systems
Wow,
for them,
okay.
along with setting up, helping to support events and different things. So that was-
Exactly. Now, you go to a lot of shows now, right? I was talking to you yesterday, or we were texting or emailing, whatever. And you have a show tomorrow where you're doing all kinds of stuff
Yes.
with lights.
Yeah.
Okay, your company is called LightNucleus.
Well, the product is called the LightNucleus.
Okay.
So it's not really a company yet, but
Oh, well,
it's
you'll be.
more of
You'll
a
be.
project,
After
an invention.
after our audience sees the kind of work you do, I'm sure they will be.
Yeah, I would love to take it out into the public and have
Right,
it be
right, right.
publicly available.
Okay, describe to our audience this concept of light nucleus.
Okay. Well, right now when you use a computer, you're using a keyboard and a mouse normally, or sometimes you're using a touch panel like on a
Right.
on a screen, but the idea is that the computer could see you and could see your movements and interpret those movements, and you wouldn't have to use a keyboard and mouse. You'd just be able to move your hands around.
Wow.
in the
Okay.
air.
All right.
And so like I started working on that problem maybe 2 years ago.
Wow,
And
okay.
got really involved in the augmented reality movement, and
Okay. What's augmented?
that's where they overlay data.
When you get to be my age, a lot of
Yeah.
these terminologies escapes me. They
Well,
just go.
there's two things that describe augmented reality instantly,
Uh-huh,
and one is
uh-huh.
Terminator vision, like
Okay.
Terminator when you
Yeah,
look around,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
see all the
Right,
data.
right.
Yeah, and the other one is the Minority Report interface, where in the movie Minority Report when Tom
Okay.
Cruise is moving the data around with his hands.
All right.
Basically, that is what I'm working on.
Wow. And is it? You mentioned during one of our conversations the movie Airbender. Is there
Ooh.
a lot of?
Yes. Well, the first application, like I've been a dancer for my entire adult life, and
Okay.
like I've studied some martial arts. I've studied lots of dance and music, and I love movement. And so as I was working with developing the software to move around, it seemed like something I could easily dance with, and so it
Wow,
started to turn
okay.
into a digital fire dancing kind of, where I'd
Wow.
move my hands around and like there'd be fire moving around. And then I started to incorporate Tai Chi flow and other things to
Wow.
kind of like be able to move things around. And just lately, I saw the movie The Last Airbender,
Right.
and I thought, oh my gosh, that's
Sure,
basically
they
their
stole it.
special effect is what I do in real time, like live.
Right, right,
And
right. Okay, now are you all set up then with
Yeah.
the computer? Okay. Well, you want to get going, and then
Sure.
we'll do the take.
Yeah, this is good.
Okay, there.
So this is a website that I just put up. It shows the next two events that we're
Okay.
at. And the
That's your website, huh?
that's the website. Right now it's at sites like it's at a strange place. The best place to get to me is at twitter.com/lightnucleus. I just created the account.
Oh, wow.
And you can
okay.
see videos of us at youtube.com/lightnucleus.
Okay.
The video I wanted to show of, I guess I'll show that where it turned into kind of fire dancing was in this video here.
Okay.
You can see.
So
I've
that's
got this-
you.
Yeah, that's me, and that was me working on this fire cloud. So basically, the computer sees my movement,
Uh-huh.
and I'm able to sort of flow and throw fire around.
Wow. Okay, how okay, the computer is following your or the light. How does that work?
Well, that's a nice secret.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, okay, well.
The
As you can
light
see, I have a hard time
nucleus-
articulating anything here.
Yeah, the way the light nucleus works is that it takes the light that's around you
Wow.
and the light that's coming off of me, and it interprets that movement and
That's
as
incredible.
an interface
Yeah.
so that you can control a computer with the light. Now, it doesn't look for people or arms or hands. It
Right.
looks for flow in particular ways.
Wow.
So it became really an instant perfect match for dancing and
Wow.
for dancers and
Awesome.
performers.
Wow. That's incredible. So then you would think that can you then have a computer and just like start typing and the keyboard feels your hands
Mhm.
and energy and then start typing the letters?
Yeah, that's kind of what's
So
going
which
on
movie
with the
did
touch
I see
panels
that?
right now. I did have a way to put data in that cloud of so it was moving around, like
Yeah?
sort of move around a big list.
The
of,
colors are
of-
fascinating.
Yeah. There's a color system that I built for it specifically because it needs to it really understands light very well. So when it's projecting light or when it's like showing light.
Okay, you told me
The-
that you just made your mom a sunset or something like that?
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah,
I
let's see that.
made her a sunrise.
A sunrise, okay.
And let's see. This is a video I made of the sunrise. Did this switch it over?
Yeah, I'm not sure if, there we go. Can you see it on television now? Huh.
There we go.
Is it picking up or is it too?
Well, it'll shift around a little bit. This is it's a movement art. So I'm actually moving behind this, and the computer is interpreting my movements
Yeah.
and making this big, broad sunrise that's
Right.
just sort of like generatively growing.
Oh, okay.
So it's art more than anything else.
Okay, there's that. What is that thing on the right side?
Oh,
there?
the thing on the right, that's my crest. It's
Oh, okay.
it's just like kind of like a brand, but not commercial. It's like a personal crest, like a signature.
Okay. Now that's very subtle, though. I mean, what is happening there?
And there's a little bit of music that goes with it.
Okay.
That it's kind of like a music video.
Oh, okay.
And, like, there's some of like the deeper colors.
Wow, that's. So in dance studios, instead of having those balls or those lights, they can project that.
Yes. So what I've started to do is project it onto a wall or onto a dancer.
Oh, okay.
And
You have one of those, right?
It ended up becoming like almost like lion taming meets the fire dance. And
Oh, yeah?
Let's see if this works out.
Okay. Is that you there?
Yeah, that's me there, and that's the light nucleus is projecting a cloud over me.
Okay, is that
and it's tracking
That's just
me.
you? It looks like there's two people there.
That's because there's a shadow behind me.
Oh, wow.
Turn up the music for this.
Wow, that's fascinating. Okay, what other application like that is awesome. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff with that.
Yeah, here's another track where I'm doing something very similar. And these are basic fire dancing moves. So
Right.
anybody who has any kind of fire dancing or Polynesian
Right,
poi
right.
or even martial arts training, like can play with this thing and make it do really amazing things. They're just kind of walking by with it and manipulating it with a sort of wand that has a long flashlight at the end.
Right.
And the movement-based art comes into becomes very even more more like kind of smoke and fire.
So can you project that on stage?
Yes. Yeah. So this is actually not a computer mesh of like this is video that's just taken of the way that it looks. And the stage is not added anything. There's nothing added to it. So this is actually projected onto a giant warehouse wall, and I'm just kind of dancing in front of it. This one was about. I'm 6 feet tall even, so judging by the height there, it was about maybe 10 feet tall was the entire projection area here. And so while I'm still working on freeing everybody from the keyboard and mouse, the road there is got a lot of like human movement in it.
Exactly.
It's
Now you get to what different colors or different permutations of different colors and lights and.
Yeah, the system has to see through its own projection. So if I'm projecting color onto a person,
Right.
the computer has to like know that color is being projected and like see through it to keep tracking the person who's being tracked.
Okay, here you have red and then purple and black.
Yeah, so there's that's probably the most challenging setting. That's why I'm really satisfied with this build, was that it projects black over me. So there's really nothing that's there in the video that can show you like how the computer is seeing me.
Wow.
So it's kind of part of the sort of magic of it. And the light actually is a huge element of it. Like for the event this Friday,
That's the one. Let's see.
This is me. I'm engineering some sunlight right here. I'm making.
Oh, I sure hope the television is picking this up. This is incredible.
Yeah. And as
this is your hand being followed by light and.
My hand is being tracked, but it's trying to create sunlight, and I'm not sure if the color is really going to come through on the television, but. There I kind of break through and turn it into this kind of sunlight that's very tactile, and you can hold on to it and sort of move it with your hands.
Right.
And like I said, it's for an art piece. The event this Friday is the benefit for Beats for Peace. It's at beatsforpeace.net, and it's also pre-party for the Visionary Art Congress in Hawaii.
Oh, really?
May. Yes. So it's so I'm making some visionary art to decorate the walls with some sunlight.
That's incredible. So, I mean, you work with a lot of artists and dancers and theaters?
Yes. Yeah, I work with some pretty amazing and very adventurous artists, because to try something new and to be like in front of everyone doing this and like having light on there. And if you go to LightNucleus or youtube.com/LightNucleus, you'll see some of the artists that I've worked with. They're following us in the subscribers channel. And there is also another channel at youtube.com/ARDevMob.
Okay.
Which is like the development mob or of developers, where you can see some of the videos. And here in this channel, the videos are not all mine. some of them are of other artists who are using the LightNucleus and making art with it. And
That's incredible.
When the group reached 333 members, this is to show you some of the data that can be, some of what can be done with data. I flowed all 333 members.
This is your, are you the organizer of this
group?
Yeah?
Yes, yeah, I'm the organizer of it. I started it to work on, to have a group that was working on freeing everyone from the mouse and keyboard. That's really important because 50% of our workplace injuries are caused by the use of a mouse and keyboard. That's half the time that people are unable to go to work because they're too sick. It's because of a mouse and keyboard. Yet we just accept them, and we really can do better than that.
Well, that's a good concept. So in the workplace, the idea is to free people from using the mouse and the keyboard. So then what will happen? You have what, like the little letter?
Well, see that's where the
manipulate. You just
that's where the art and the science all come together, because when we have a keyboard,
it's incredible.
The keyboard was designed.
I'm not very good with computers
Scholes.
or technologies.
Yeah. A long time ago, the keyboard was created by a man named Scholes, and he organized the letters. And we just, because it became convention, it's been really hard to change that. And to depart from the keyboard, you need to sort of develop a kinesthetic language for computers. Like, how do I know what it's going to do when I do this or that?
Okay.
And it's like, just like letters and language were in the common world before the keyboards, that language can't necessarily be the patented, owned kinesthetic language of one company. It has to be something that's in our bodies. And so my journey has been in just finding that language that we already speak with our bodies, so that we can use to control computers. Right. I have another video that shows that.
That's incredible. But if you're typing a document, see how basic I am. Yeah. How are you going to do that without a keyboard and?
That's the research that I'm working on. First, I got to figure out if you want it to be this color or that color. Let's do that, and then get some data into there eventually.
I think I could see the how incredible it is to apply it in movies and theater and the arts, because you got the light and then you mix in the sound and all of that stuff. And then, to me, to make the leap from that to being in an office where you're typing, with lawyers and whatever, in the computer, that's kind of a
most of the work that I've done in my life professionally with the social media, with a company called Word Networks that I started.
Oh my God, I'm betting a lot of money on this kid. So
most of the work
I'll be your manager. You could use a good manager.
Yeah, well, most of the work that I've done in my life has been to sort of free people from the whole office idea. That they would have to spend some fossil fuels to get to a place where they're separate from their life, where they work and then come home and work and come home. Right. But that's got a whole bunch of equipment that's not built for their bodies, that they just have to sit at for their whole life. That's a very
tell us about your lifestyle. I mean, because I've sort of had gotten a glimpse of a little bit of your lifestyle, but you're just nonstop, right? I mean, this is it's we won't call it obsession, but it's a burning passion, and you're in it. Like your mom was telling me that, he even forgets to eat, and then doesn't answer the phone, and then you don't see him for days, and he forgets to go home. You're just constantly working.
Yeah, well, I departed from the idea that I would spend my life doing one thing that I didn't want to do, and then retire and then do what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
I was provided with an excellent crash in the economy, which left me without a job and without wealth and without any of the things that I had before.
But you almost became a millionaire. Almost.
I was a millionaire on paper.
If you had taken that deal, there was a deal, right?
There was a deal.
There was a deal. It was 17 million. You created this.
There was a deal for $7.5 million that my board, when a company doesn't say yes to a deal, they just don't say yes. It's not really good to go back and look and see why or to regret it. But what I can say about the world is that it was not going to let me get away with getting very wealthy and being totally successful at doing something I didn't love. And
Right, right.
so what I did was I searched for something that I love. I thought about, well, I've been dancing my whole life. I've been working with computers.
Right.
I really think
You
sci-fi
just need a
is amazing.
financier. You just need a patron.
Yeah. And I have excellent friends and an excellent culture and community around me that are sort of helping me to do this research. Mostly, I've been for
That's
2 years now
incredible, though.
without income for 2 years. I've been just developing.
Well,
and
you
it
join what?
join-
15 or 20% of America.
Yeah, but I mean,
How about the stimulus bill? Are there like grants for something like this?
I'm
for
sure
the
that there are
arts?
grants and people have told me about them before, but I just can't seem to pull myself away from my work long
Well,
enough to go and get the grant because I
that's
don't
always
know
the
what they would
challenge.
provide me.
That's always the challenge between the artist and the person who has to get the monies, because you're the artist and you're the inventor, so your mind is focused on developing this art you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody needs to step in and say, okay, this is a wonderful craft, this is a wonderful work, and will be like sort of the business person.
I think that person would really piss me off all the time. Like,
You and Charlie Sheen both. Okay.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm relatively confident with the road that's traveled thus far.
That's the
that
challenge with artists.
that I'm gonna have what I need to move forward, because that discovery is that yes, I'm always working, and it's like I've never worked this hard in my life.
Exactly.
But,
No, but
it's
they're good
working
stuff.
on something
They're
that's so
incredible.
in line with who I am and what I'm doing in the world that the work almost does itself, and I seem to have everything that I need. And I'm hoping that, like, being on television with you and, like, having people, like, out there
Be
know
discovered.
about the LightNucleus, that like, there's something that they desire that I can
Did we
help
put
them
your
to get.
did we put
and
your
help them to
email
reach.
somewhere?
Oh, yes. Let me see. The
I
best
mean,
way
this
to-
guy is incredibly talented. I mean, could you look at that? I mean, that's amazing work.
Can they see the television or the screen?
There.
Is that on?
Yes, that's the
Okay.
screen right there.
Good. Yeah, so that's my website, and on it there's links to videos and
Oops, we're finished. Good night.
Did they see the video?
Yes, they did. I
Okay.
forgot about the
saw
time.
that.
Oops, we're finished. Good
So
night.
we were finished at what time? 6:50.
That's it, 6:52.
Oh, cool.
How about
Hopefully
that?
they
Oh my
saw
God.
that
Oops,
it
we're
was
finished.
never
Yeah.
done. Oops, we're finished. That's great. That was beautiful.
Oh,
Thank you.
That's good, huh?
Yeah.